Hey everybody, welcome back to Mr. Smith's YouTube channel. Sorry if there's a little bit of noise in the background, but I am running the Glowforge right now, and I don't have a whole lot of options for that, so just turn up the audio if you need to. So I'm going to be showing y'all just kind of a review. We've learned a lot of techniques, but I'm just going to quickly go through like how to make a keychain with the Glowforge. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about effects. So this won't be a long video, but I do want you to follow this tutorial because it will help you. And I hope this kind of helps sum up some of the things that we have done. Alright, so I'm just going to jump into it. Alright, so first things first, just make sure you save. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick file save. I'm going to find somewhere nice to save this. Adobe Illustrators. This is day 3. I'm going to call it Keychain and Effects. Alright, so now that I've saved my file, and remember, we're using a 20 by 20, so when you go to File, New, alright, or sorry, a 20 by 12, you would have created a template already. Just make sure that it's in inches and you have 20 by 12, alright? So what I want to do is just kind of review what we've done. So we've basically been doing Illustrator, trying to prepare ourselves to do designs for the Glowforge. One of the key things you need to remember is up here at the top, you should have your control bar. It helps you with a lot of the tools that you need. If you do not have it, you need to go to Window and then Control. Alright, so you need this control bar because you can use it for a lot of stuff. Alright, so let's just say that I want to make a keychain with my name. Alright, so I'm going to draw a text box, and I am going to type Smitty, and then I'm going to go up here in my control bar and increase the size, something pretty big. Alright, and I'm going to change my font. So one thing we haven't talked about is all the different fonts you can use. So these are all the standard fonts that Adobe comes with. But up here at the top, if you click Find More, then it'll probably take a little bit to load. I've already loaded mine in this morning. But you have hundreds and hundreds of other fonts. So for this tutorial, I'm going to use one called Serena. S-A-R... There it is, Serena Regular. Alright, so I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to click the download, click OK, and it activates it for me. I'm actually going to use Serena Script. I kind of like that one. Alright, so I'm going to activate that one. If I go into fonts now, I will have Serena, and Serena Script should also be there. Oh, no. I did not. Well. Alright, I'm just going to use Serena because it looked like the script didn't activate. Alright, so I have my name. So when I think about a keychain, a lot of times they're not necessarily horizontal. So if you hover over this middle point here, you can actually rotate your box. Alright, so I'm going to rotate mine a little bit, and then I'm going to have to grab the corner and make it bigger. I think I'm going to rotate it a little more, make it a little bigger here. Might even have to kind of move it into the middle. Alright, so just kind of, I'm actually only rotating the box, so I'm going to back up. So if you right click and go to transform, you can also do a rotate here. So maybe I want to rotate it 30. Alright, so now I've got it rotated the way I want it. What shape should I put around this? Well, I'm making a keychain, so I think I'm going to use an oval. You could use a star, you could use a polygon, but I'm going to use the ellipse tool here over on the left, and I'm just going to come in here and draw it over the top. So you will notice that my zoom is kind of weird right now. So let's say maybe I get into this position where I'm like super weirdly zoomed out. If you press Control 0, it'll zoom in so that it fits the screen. All right, so if you've ever gotten yourself in a weird zoom situation, Control 0 will bring you back. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, I cannot see my name because my fill and my stroke are backwards. So I'm gonna change the fill over here to be empty. And I'm gonna change my stroke to be black. Well, oh, I didn't have it selected. Okay, make sure you have it selected when you do that. All right, and then just so it matches with my name, I'm gonna go ahead and increase the stroke a little bit up here. So that way it's all touching. All right, so I think that actually looks pretty good. So one thing, right, that you will notice is if I were to go cut this out, the S is attached here, the MIDI is attached here, but there's kind of this weird space here that's just kind of hanging out. So luckily we can take our line tool. I'm gonna have to find the line tool. So if you can't find a tool, if you go down here, right there is the line segment tool, but it is grayed out for me. Let me try that again. Let me back out a little bit. Huh. I don't know why the line segment tool is grayed out. Let me activate. I don't want to do that. Don't you love when things don't go your way in the morning? I'm gonna go to classic. Still grayed out. Just trying to switch workspaces. Let me go to essentials. Okay, there we go. So now I had to switch my workspace. So I had to switch my workspace to essentials, and now I have access to my line tool. I'm going to go ahead and turn back on control bar, but the only bad thing is I'm going to have to add in my swatches and everything in a minute, but I'm just going to quickly use the line tool. So I use that line tool to connect the S and the M, and then I'm going to increase the stroke of that. So now my S and my M are connected. Alright, so I do like the idea that this whole thing is connected here. Alright, so I'm going to go back into Window, and I'm going to switch my workspace back to Layout, because that's what we've been using. That's what we're familiar with. Alright, then, so what I want to do now is I actually want to take my name. So right now my name is a text. I want to convert it to an outline so it's curves. All right, because this oval is curve and this is a curve. So what you do is you right click and you do create outlines. So now you will see how there's actually an outline around each letter instead of it being text. All right, now we're gonna highlight the whole thing. All right, and remember the Pathfinder. If you can't find Pathfinder, you need to go up to Window, turn on Pathfinder. But you're going to actually use the unite. I want to unite this into one thing. So when I click that, actually I'm going to click, oh, wrong one. I'm going to click just the text. So don't click the oval or it'll try to subtract them. So click just the text and then unite. So now you will see that all of this is united. Alright, and I actually want to do I need to get my little line that I added. So I'm doing a shift click to highlight everything. I don't like how I did that. Alright, we're going to leave it for now. Alright, so at this point, everything is pretty connected. Remember, Control 0 to get your zoom back correctly. Control 0. Alright, so what if I want to check what my outlines actually look like? If I press Control Y, then it'll show me my outlines. So the reason this Pathfinder didn't work for me is this is not an outline, it's actually just a line. Alright? And this, my oval on the outside, is just a line. It's not actually an outline. Alright, so I need to make those outlines. So if I click on the oval, and I go up here to Object, oh my god, I am drawing. Alright, Path. Alright, Outline Stroke. Alright, so now instead of just being a line, it creates an outline of the stroke. Alright, so you see how this is actually an oval that is just a line, but then when we go to Object, Path, Outline Stroke, it outlines it instead of leaving it as a line. Same thing here with this line. Let me highlight this line. Alright, but really, if you see the stroke, it's more of a block. So if I go to Object, Path, Outline Stroke, now I hit Control Y, you can see that instead of being a line, it becomes a block. So now if I highlight that and use my Pathfinder tool, it connects it. Now if I highlight that and use my Pathfinder tool, it connects it. Alright, so I want my laser to go in and follow these lines. So on the Glowforge, the laser is going to follow the lines so that it cuts it out so I have an oval with my name across it. Makes a pretty cool keychain, right? But to do that, you have to know how to outline your strokes to get it all working. Alright, so every good keychain needs a hook. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my oval tool again. So I'm going to come back up here where the line segment tool is, grab the ellipse tool, alright, and I draw a circle. So I actually need this to be a circle within a circle, right? So what I want to do is if I press Control Y, I can see what I'm working with. Alright, so if I click on this and I go to Object, Path, Outline Stroke. Oh, well, hold on. First, let's actually increase the stroke. So Control Y gets me back here. I draw that ellipse again. I need to go over here and change the fill and turn on the stroke. Alright, turned off the fill, turned on the stroke. Then I increase the stroke. If I press Control Y, it looks like this. Now if I highlight it, go to Object, Path, and Outline Stroke, it's turned into that like double, it's outlined the stroke. It's no longer just a line. It's a stroke that has been traced. So if I drag and highlight that and use Pathfinder one more time, that is now part of this. Alright, so now Control Y again. I have this cool looking keychain that says Smitty. Alright, so that's just kind of, we've learned stroke, fill, we've learned design stuff. So this is, and Pathfinder, so this is kind of how you bring it all together to start producing a product. Alright, and I want this like oval with my name across it, where it's just going to be cut out and not engraved. So I'll run one of these in a little bit just to kind of show y'all what it looks like. But I got one more technique I want to show you. Alright, so I'm going to take this and I am going to actually shrink it. I'm going to hold down Shift while I'm shrinking so it just is smaller. But I want to show y'all an effect real quick. All right, so I'm gonna draw a rectangle, and I'm a Bulldogs fan, so we're gonna go red and black. So I'm gonna make my inside red and my stroke black. So my fill is red, my stroke is black. I'm even gonna increase the stroke just a hair so you can see it. All right, so I have this, but what if I want it to look isometric, right? We've done a lot of 3D modeling, isometrics where you have that kind of 45-degree view of an object, and you can do that pretty easily in Illustrator. I do have a little bit of fear that your school laptops won't have enough memory, but just kind of want to see if we can push the limits of them. So if you click on this shape, and you go up here to Effect and go to 3D, so you have this effect panel, and there's all these different types, right? You got Photoshop effects and Illustrator effects. We've been using Pathfinder already. All right, that's one of the effects, but we have this other one called 3D. All right, if you use Extrude and Bevel, then it'll actually rotate. All right, so I have this red rectangle with a black outline, but now it's rotated it for me and made it 3D. You can actually like rotate the cube. All right, so you can rotate the cube and try to get it to move it for you. Or if you go up here to the top, I can say like isometric left or isometric top. All right, so I kind of like that, right? So y'all see that even on my computer, which has a 1660 in it, I'm still getting RAM errors. So, you know, it's kind of, it might be good, I don't know. But if I were to try to make a graphic, let's say I'm trying to make a logo or something, you know, I can create this nice isometric rectangle, and then I'm going to right click on my keychain I made, and I'm going to arrange that and bring it all the way to the front, so now I can just pull it down and put it on top. Alright, and it just gives it like a nice, cooler look in my opinion. You know, maybe I want to go and add a rectangle around that. I'm going to change the fill. You know, I'm going to make the fill a gradient. And the stroke's going to be red. I'm going to increase the stroke. And then I'm going to click on this and arrange it and send it all the way to the back. Okay. Now I'm going to actually center everything. Let me make sure. I'm going to group that with that. Make sure that's centered. Alright. Ooh, when I centered that, it took away my black, which was a little weird. Alright, but again, guys, you know, I'm kind of testing out the limits of y'all's computer here. So remember to center back up, Control 0. And now I've made this nice little keychain design, and I put it on an isometric square. So that's what I want you to do today in class. Just kind of work through this whole process, and let's hope that our laptops don't crash out on us. All right, guys, appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.